Good morning. Lon Kiefer, the retired comic here. And it's super early in the morning. I've been up for like an hour and a half and I didn't fight it. I felt rested, and so I just got out of bed. Whereas sometimes I'll force myself to stay in bed saying, you need this much sleep, or I guess the point is that I think about what I should be doing too much. And that's what this is kind of about. I'm on a walk by myself this morning. You might have heard Chance in the background. And even that's kind of important because, you know, I personally set out to do certain things and to try, and I'm telling myself all the time, chill, relax. It'll be okay. You don't have to work so hard. You don't have to do this. There's no urgency to this. And then I look at the message that I'm sharing with the world. Let humor work. Humor is a healthy understanding of moments others recognize or reject. You can find out through humor whether the people around you understand the same things that you understand, or you understand what they understand. I'm rambling here simply because the point I'm trying to make is I, and possibly you, complicate things unnecessarily. And now that I'm a man of a certain age, 55 plus, I'm realizing that there's been times where I've complicated things that didn't need to be complicated. Like just now, I was looking for this selfie stick that I'm using, and I was going out to my pole barn garage, and there's two bays out there. One for my car and one for my caregiver wife's car. And they have different codes. And I know why I did that, but it makes no sense. This morning I was trying to get in, my bay, and I kept putting in the code for her bay. And it's not like I'm trying to keep her out of that. I paused for a minute because look at this thing. I don't know if you can see this. This is usually a lane that I can walk, but we had so much rain the other day that the river took it back. So I can't walk that way, so I'll walk this way. See how easy that is? Just change. So I'm trying to talk about just kind of being easy with yourself and stop the false urgency and the complexity that we create. I crave a simple life, and yet I often create a complicated one. I realize that I'm addicted to that phone a little bit, and so here's how it can happen. I was told I need to get 10,000 steps a day. Where I'm going with this is wellness is very important. Your health is very important, not your wealth. I mean, that's important too, but we focus a lot on wealth. And I realized, even though I talk about humor and I'm funny, sometimes, serious others, too serious, but I wasn't really focusing on health enough. And that's really the key. No matter how much money you have, your health can take it all away in a minute. Or if you're not healthy, you can't enjoy the money. So 10,000 steps is where I'm going with this. I'm out of breath. I was told that I should get 10,000 steps a day. So in order to ensure that I would accomplish that, I took my phone with me everywhere I went and was focusing on my phone. How many steps did I get? How many steps would I get? And what that meant was I also took the world with me. And since I focus on pleasing others, sometimes because I feel it's a responsibility, sometimes just because I take satisfaction from it, when I took that phone with me, I took the whole world and what the world is doing and where I fit in that world with me as well. So what I'm trying to do now, with the exception of this video while we're walking, is I'm trying to be more active but count fewer steps. Just to avoid being attached to the phone more. So I promise you, when I'm done this video, I'm going to turn this phone off. Not turn it off, I can't do that, but leave it behind for a little bit and get a little bit of healthy separation. So as a man of a certain age, I'm trying to figure out, when do I stop the career? When do I start the me time? When do I? And what I've realized is that both can happen. I would hate to think, oh, I'm a certain age, so I have to retire and leave behind something that I actually enjoyed. You don't want to. I used to do this thing about seeking success versus fleeing failure. If you're fleeing failure to move on, it's going to come back to bite you. But if you're seeking success, if there's a future you see that's different than your present, that's cool. Go get it. But this pressure that I and perhaps you have been putting on yourself, like, oh, I need to retire. Do I have enough money to retire? Well, do you have enough health to retire? Do you have enough wellness to retire? Do you have a healthy understanding of moments others reject or recognize? Like, are you at a good place with your humor? And humor is not laughter. It's a willingness to laugh. It's having your mind in a place where you can see the lightness before us, because the heaviness is easy to see. Somebody gets sick, or you get into an accident, or maybe you lose that job before you're ready. You can see all the seriousness of life. But can you see the lighter moments? Can you see where you can relax? Can you see where when you go to set codes on your garage door, that you set them the same for you and your wife? I mean, you both have a right to get in there. You're not going it alone. I don't know what I was thinking. I'm sure I had a great reason for it. I know that, now I'm not talking about a lot of money, but I'm looking at, my life and trying to simplify it. And I have this one account. Again, it's not a lot of money, but I have this one account where all my money sits, and I've got several sub accounts. I have no idea why. I remember when I was setting them up, oh, this will be for Taylor, that's my daughter. This will be for her college fund, and this will be for Steven, that's my son. Shout out to Jacksonville, where they all live. And when I say they all, not both, it's both of them plus my grandchildren. Anyway, I'm off the subject, but I had a great reason for creating a complicated scenario for my life. To this day, I have no idea what it was, and I didn't stick to it. And here's another tangent that you won't see coming. I talk a lot about should statements. I should do this, I should do that. And how it's a shouldy attitude, because you just beat yourself up thinking that it's motivation. It's not. If you tell yourself things like, oh, I should go for a jog today, I should get more exercise today, and you go do it that day, but you don't do it the next day or the day after, and it doesn't sort of become a habit just kind of naturally because you want to go do it, then you're going to find yourself one day saying, why the hell do I have 2 different codes to get into my pole barn, and trying to explain to some person that's probably half your damn age why you have 4 sub accounts and you have no idea what you were trying to do, and each of them has a small amount of money in them. So you're overthinking things. At least I always have. One of the things I've learned from comedy, and God, I dearly love being back to doing stand-up comedy, because it puts me in the mindset of always trying to look at things in a humorous angle and in an angle where people can understand them. I'm going to go back this way and get off this road. So, when it comes to keeping things simple and trying to get rid of the urgency, I'm going to try and stop motivating myself by putting pressure on myself and just embracing what's the next thing. And not that I have to explain things to other people, but it would be nice if it was understandable. Gosh, now I want to talk about my dad and mental illness and how I often didn't understand what he was talking about. And wow, this is a downer. I don't mean to bring a downer to the end of this video, but it is worthy of another video in the future. It is about health, wellness, and studies all over say that being social, having a community, is the most important thing you can do for yourself. And I realize that while I love that, I'm also kind of good in my own mind, in my own head, and therefore I can be with people but not with people. So I'm trying to be very aware in the moment, but I'm also trying to take walks like this where I'm alone with my thoughts and with you, to just try and clear my head and slow things down. Man, life is fast, and I like that it's fast, but I like it when it's slow. I think that's enough for now. Try and be with others, but also be at peace with yourself. Make things less complicated. Let humor work.